do some cooking.
People tend to judge me a lot for my recipes. They say they aren't hard and that I am not an actual chef. Well, I know that. I'm a home cook and someone who's really passionate about food. Beyond that, I think they're misjudging me. My goal is to create recipes with everyday ingredients that are just a little bit different, that spice up your day. I mean, look at this. It looks delicious and it was so easy to make.
I've got another way to make pancakes.
2 eggs.
Crack into a bowl. Separate yolks into another bowl.
Right, so with these, a tablespoon of milk,
Whiskey business, 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
1/4 cup of cake flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt,
Sift into your yolks. Whiskey business.
egg whites. Blend, till frothy,
In 2.5 tablespoons of sugar gradually.
keep on plating that up, till stiff peaks. Add this to this.
Whites in and fold.
Add the rest and fold together.
Into a piping bag.
Non-stick pan,
Spray oil.
heat medium low. Make 2 evenly sized pancakes with half your mixture. Teaspoon of water, lid. Steam for 5 minutes. Add the other half of your mixture. 3 more minutes. Flip, flip. 3 more minutes. Onto a plate. Whipped cream, some butter, powdered sugar, and of course, sheesh.
That's a souffle pancake.
Ooh, what is this? Better than IHOP.
Oh my fucking god.
We've been seeing these tacos everywhere, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make them. You're going to start out with some good cuts of beef. I'm using beef chuck, aka the shoulder, seasoned with salt and pepper, and give them a sear for about 30 seconds aside just to add a little bit of color, which is going to add flavor for later. Take them out, chop up an onion, 5 cloves of garlic, go in with those in the same pot. You're going to go in with equal parts of beef stock and water. Bring those to a simmer. Go in with some dried chili peppers. I use 2 here. Go in with some wet chipotle peppers as well. This is going to add a delicious smoky flavor. And then you're going to go in with some crushed tomatoes. Season with bay leaves, salt, cumin, Mexican oregano, and some lime juice. Throw all your meat back in there. And an hour later, you're going to take all the other solids out. We're talking the peppers, the onions, the garlic. Throw them all into a blender. Blend them up into a nice puree. Pour that back into the pot, and you're gonna have to let that simmer for about 3 hours. In 3 hours, I'll have the final product. Come back.
the video, I really can't believe it. A lot of people ask for a recipe without eggs. Actually, a lot of traditional pastas are just made with semolina flour and water. No, semolina is not salmonella. You don't even need a rolling pin for these shapes. You can make as much or as little as you want. The ratio is 2 parts flour, 1 part water by weight, and a little bit of salt. Like with the egg pasta dough, you need to knead this for 10 entire minutes, which feels like a long time. With semolina flour, you need to be even more vigorous. Instead of covering it in plastic wrap, you cover it with a bowl for 30 minutes to let the gluten relax. I'm going to make a separate video on how to form all these shapes, so follow me to not miss it. Since the dough is just flour and water, you need to make sure it's the right kind of flour. Look for remilled semolina flour because otherwise it won't be ground flour. Some brands call it by the Italian name farina di semola immacinata. Make sure to get the full recipe on my website. The link is in my bio.
Stasera cena romana.
Carbonara di Roma. La ricetta mia è di mamma, cioè di mamma. Tuorli in teoria senza chiare, ma se ce ne cade un po' fa niente. Sale e pepe, tanto pepe. Poi
E soprattutto tanto pecorino romano.
grattugiare come se non ci fosse un domani e versare tutto. Mamma commenta che è anche poco.
È sempre troppo poco.
E sbattere fino ad ottenere questa consistenza. Rosolare il guanciale in una padella fredda.
È tipicamente di Amatrice.
Doc. Buttiamo la pasta a sentimento, mamma si dice su TikTok.
Tanto sentimento.
Acqua di cottura.
E quindi aggiungiamo altro pecorino.
Nel frattempo il guanciale diventa così. Parte 2!
Not gonna waste the bread. Let me show you the perfect recipe. Ingredients. Soak your dry old bread in water, add extra virgin olive oil and salt. Scrunch some pepper, add your tomatoes and sprinkle some onions. Cover in fresh oregano and tear up some basil. A little more salt and olive oil. Sit for 10 minutes and call it gorgeous.
Home from school? Make your own lunch. Homemade pasta and sauce in 10 minutes. Food processor, 2 cloves of garlic. Pignoli nuts. Lock. Pulse. Add 3 cups of basil. Pecorino Romano. 1 teaspoon of salt. Juice from 1 lemon. Zest from a lemon. Blend while adding oil. Pesto is done. Time for the pasta. 2 cups of ricotta, half a cup of Parmesan cheese. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1.5 tablespoons of oil. 2 eggs. Whisk it up. Ready for the flour. Add flour in 3 parts. 1 1¼ cup. Second part. Third part. Add more flour if necessary. When dough is done, roll and cut. To boiling water, add gnocchi and wait for them to rise. Done and done. Ooh-wee, yum, yum, yum.
Today was my birthday and my boyfriend and I's 1-year anniversary. We'd planned to celebrate and saved money up, but my boyfriend spent it on a new PS5. He spent all day playing Cyberpunk, and I brought him a sandwich for dinner because he hadn't left the gaming chair in 9 hours. But it was a multiplayer game, and I interrupted him and the boys, so he slapped me with a piece of mozzarella. I apologized with a new sandwich for him.
You do not need a fancy machine just to make homemade pasta. In reality, the best quality pasta is made by Italian grandmas in their rolling pins. It has to do with the texture of the wood. I use a ratio of 80 grams of 00 flour to 1 egg. You can use all-purpose flour, but the texture will be a little different. A huge mistake you can make is not kneading it long enough. You need to knead it for 10 minutes. It's also crucial to let it rest 30 minutes so the flour can hydrate and the gluten can relax. Otherwise, it will spring back when you roll it. A helpful technique is to let it hang from the side of the table so the gravity can kind of stretch it out for you. If you're feeling fancy, you can try what I'm doing here. It helps to have a large rolling pin. This huge sheet of pasta is called a sfoglia in Italian. Here's a cool trick to quickly make a lot of pasta. Roll it up from either end, slice it, then all you have to do is stick your knife underneath the pasta and it will just fall into place. This shape is called tagliatelle. Tagliare means to cut. Get the full recipe with all my tips on how to store it and cook it on my website, link in bio.
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and today we're making the fan favorite Tong Hulu, which is this crunchy and delicious candied fruit snack that originated in China. It's so fun and easy to make. Today we're doing it with strawberries, so cut off the tops and add them to skewers. And then all you need to make the candy coating on the outside is a half a cup of sugar plus a fourth of a cup of water. You don't want to stir this mixture because that will cause the sugar to crystallize, so just give it a little swirl in the pan and then simmer it till it turns this light golden brown color, and then you can dip your strawberries in. I want to make this with more fruit, so let me know what I should try next.